looking for the top 10 pieces of architecture in the country, and this next one has to be a surefire contender. Reno's exploring it in the hinterland of Byron.
Lune De Sang is a spectacular development set in the Byron Bay hinterland and represents one man's vision at restoring that hinterland area back to its original form.
In its early years, this extraordinary project demonstrates enduring, multi-generational architecture that will last for many, many years to come.
This story starts 13 years ago, when the owners, Andy and Deirdre, took possession of this remarkable property in the hinterland of Byron Bay. It was a lunar eclipse that night, so they named the property Lune De Sang, blood moon.
It's a very large site, and to be honest, it took us some time to work out what we're doing here.
And tell me, is this where it all started?
This is the log cabin that Andy and Deirdre tidied up so they can spend some time on the site to think about what they're doing here.
And are they still living there?
This is now a guest house. There's many structures on the site. In fact, what I'd like to show you is a couple of sheds, because that's where we started the whole project with. So this is the first structure we designed on the site.
So who builds a shed like this?
Reno, I think you're starting to see the scale and uniqueness of the owner's vision for the whole project.
So the off-form concrete, the stone, the glass, I mean, this is quality.
Yes, there was a lot of attention brought to not only the quality of the detail, but the quality of the light that you have here, the thermal comfort you have, and the outlook the space provides for the workers here. It is a workshop, but there's a very long vision here. So in 100 years, it could be anything that you could want it to be, but it will always be very much connected to the landscape it sits in.
So, John, this is shed 2.
Yes, it's a storage shed. Andy was keen to have a box to keep all the supplies behind. It was very important to keep the site neat and tidy because it really helps with productivity, safety, and a respect for the setting we're in here.
Yeah, I understand you wanting to store stuff, but I'm looking at quality here. I'm looking at, cantilevered beams, wraparound zinc roof. Why?
Why is a good question. One might ask why art, why music, why sports? There are so many things that we do that are much more than functional purpose. It gives us joy, beauty, and it tells us stories about our place in the world, and that's very much what architecture is here to do as well.
So we've seen the original cottage, we've seen 2 sheds, if you can call them that, but now let's meet the guy behind all this. Wow, this is spectacular, Andy.
We have 19 people in our immediate family, and they live all over the world. The pavilion is where my family come together. It's a great chance, a great spot to socialize. Kids play in the pool. It's a great place to have meals and to drink. And when we get tired of each other, everybody goes off to the respective houses, which are on the site.
But you live here.
No, Deirdre and I live in a house that's not far from here. Would you like to see it? Hang on, Reno.
Oh. Secret door. Oh, Andy, this is lovely.
Yes, this is our sanctuary. This is where Deirdre and I come to escape the mayhem in the pavilion. All the glass, we've been collecting this for years and years, and I'm a glass artist myself.
So, Andy, this is the boudoir.
Yeah, this is Deirdre's and my inner sanctum.
I love it. I like how you've placed the bed in the center of the room, so you could walk all the way around. And this is your ensuite, the size of a small Sydney apartment. And this bath, how spectacular is this bath?
Yeah, this is one big basalt boulder that's been hollowed out and weighs 2 tons.
You know, I can imagine being in this bath, looking out at that landscape, because that landscape seems that it's almost here to greet us, so close to the windows.
Yes, well, we've been working pretty hard on the landscape and really trying to fashion a really close and intimate view in the landscape in here, as opposed to the really long views that we have out on the pavilion.
I realise that the landscape here is just as important as the architecture. So I'd really like to come back with the Australia by Design landscape team and do a story on the landscape. What do you say?
That'd be fantastic. We'd love it.
Great.
Let's get our judges' thoughts on who's going through to the final.
This group of industry professionals that we have assembled are very well qualified to assess their architectural merit.
I'm happy Green Square's made it to the final. This is going to be a fantastic hub for a growing community.
I think it's very adaptable, very flexible. It's also being able to adapt with the community while it's growing. I think it's a great space.
Lune De Sang getting through to the finals is perhaps no real surprise. The judging panel held it in very high regard.
Well, congratulations to Green Square Library and Lune De Sang for their well-deserved positions in our top 10. Join us next week as we continue our search for Australia's best architecture.